Hello and welcome everybody back to episode 3 of the Spincast. Brian Kellison here with Lisa Vries, and we are one man down, if the sports reference makes it across the country, to Brian White, recovering from surgery. He had knee replacement surgery done on Wednesday, and so he wasn't feeling good. So we're going to carry on and touch on a couple things tonight, but the main thing we're going to touch on is I just printed it out. Esports National Championships, January 6th through 7th, 2024, Zwift.
The rule book.
The rule book, yes. The rule book. How you doing, Lee? What's up?
Doing fantastic. Brian cannot make it down the stairs, from what I hear. That is the problem.
I know, we should call him, but probably won't happen. Did you have a good week?
Fantastic week. I'm super excited to talk about these rules that were posted because there is a lot to dig in.
I have not looked at it, so I'm coming in super fresh eyes. I want my first impressions to be on the show, so that's the reason why I didn't look at it. And I knew that you've been sending little things. We've been talking all week, but
I quickly sort of skimmed through and saw some highlighted parts where I decided to message you about them, but that's about it.
So there are two things, right? There's the USA Cycling Racing Bible or Racing Doc, and then there's the Echelon Racing League, right? So those are two things we can touch on, but the main thing is the national championships, because I'm going to be competing in it. You're going to be competing in the Canadian one, correct?
Yeah, and I would believe that the Canadian rules are probably going to be very similar to
I think
the USA.
So. Yeah. So just before we dive into it right away, it's just I've already started. The one thing I did know going into it is, because you had mentioned it, I think, is we know the route. So last week I didn't know the route, and so I was thinking, and I didn't know it was going to be a scratch race, which is, for people that don't know what a scratch race is first across the line, finishing position is the winner, right? So I thought it was going to be a points race or an omnium, which is a points race or whatever they decide. It's just accumulation of multiple races. That's like an omnium, right? Now this is for masters, but
that's all they had advertised so far was omnium.
Yeah. So for the under 23 and the elites, it is points race, or omnium still. But for the masters, and I don't know if they're doing juniors, but masters, men's and women's, is going to be a scratch race. And the scratch race is going to be 3 laps of park perimeter loop on Zwift.
I think that's a pretty decent route. I don't like New York in general. I usually avoid New York, but for a route, that's the least offensive New York route.
Yeah. I have a love and hate relationship with New York. It goes back to the 2020, the pandemic, right? I was doing all the route badges, trying to get all the experience points just to level up, right? And I did the High Line. Have you ever done the High Line? I'm sure you have. You have all the route badges. The High Line was broken for it seemed like 6 months. And I did it. It's supposed to be an 8-kilometer route with maybe 2 kilometer lead in. And you're supposed to go around one part and then go up on the invisible track and then do it. And then you get the route badge. Well, I did it 40 kilometers. I did it multiple laps, never went up top, whatever. So now, having New York being the national championship, I was like, oh, I'm New York. But I do like the park perimeter loop, and you can make a meetup so I can recon it. And I did that this week.
I think the biggest problem with New York, which left a bad taste in my mouth, like you said, is the lead in. Before, Zwift used to not show the lead in
Oh yeah.
or the routes.
Yeah.
And so you'd be like, oh, I just want to like bang off a quick route. Oh, look at this
Yeah.
one. It's 8K. No, it's like 19 and a half kilometers because there's a 9K lead in on the 8K route.
Yeah. That's the high line. There was three things going on. One, the route was broken, so you never actually went up to the high line. So you just were around in Central Park. The second thing was the actual route that was described on Zwift Insider was not what was described in the game. The little GIF, the animated GIF, was actually off in the game versus what was on Zwift Insider. So I was like, what is going on? And I'm just like, what's going on? So now the positive stuff is Park Perimeter Loop. I actually did a race today, 6 laps of Park Perimeter Loop. Oh, I like the course. I like it. It's okay for a big guy like me. There's places to attack. There's places to catch people off guard. There's places to catch people napping or getting a breakaway. And with the new pack dynamics, I think it's going to be a fun race. And it's only 3 laps, so it's going to be fast. I think it was like 35, 40 minutes, just under 40 minutes for the 3 laps that we did. Now that was based on pack dynamics and whatever, people attacking and stuff.
I think for a bigger guy, it doesn't have the sustained hill climbing.
Yeah.
So the one main hill in the game, it's short enough that a bigger guy can, ramp it up and hold on with the light guys.
Yeah.
But also, if you go over the top, it goes right into a downhill and into flat. So if you can hold on up that hill, you can actually probably make a move coming over the top.
Yeah. Something happened today in the race today. It was 6th lap. I did an attack on that little climb because it was lap 6 or whatever. It was a weird race because it was like sprint points only for lap 2, 4, 5. And so whatever. The last lap, we're lapping riders. And so I crested with like 1 or 2 other riders, and we kind of went through a little pocket of lapped riders. Now, those lap riders, I believe, unless I'm mistaken, if they're on the course, they're adding draft to the chase group. So it was like 3 or 4 of us off from splitting up like 6 or 7 or 8. So we had a couple people fall off. Hopefully, lapped riders will get, I don't even, dude, there's no way Zwift has time to get lapped riders sort of pulled.
No.
So if it's raced together and scored separately, but different categories racing against each other, and you have lapped riders, that's going to play a factor in sort of strategy too.
Well, I think because today as well, your race was 6 laps, 3 laps. There's a good chance that you probably won't run into lapped riders, but maybe. I mean, there's going to be all sorts of people in this race.
So we don't know. So let's get into it. All right, let's get into it. We're going to go down. Do you want to pick out some of the stuff while I look at this?
I was just going to say, let's start on page 1, where you need to have a license. You need to have a USA Cycling International license.
Yeah, all riders must no. Not only do you have to have a license. You ready for this? Must be a United States citizen.
Yes. You cannot win nationals if you're not a U.S. citizen.
Yeah. So there are people. I don't know if he's a citizen, but there are guys that are foreign born.
Well,
and they race with my team in the Bay Area.
The winner of the Canadian last year has dual citizenship in your age category.
Oh, so he races Canadian.
But he raced for Canada. He raced in the Canadians last year because the race was at the same time. This year, he could potentially race in both. I'll have to dig up his name, but yeah, he picked Canada.
USA Cycling International license, which I have, which is free for people that don't know. If you have a USA Cycling license, you just ask. You request it, you send a little request form in through the website, and then they just give you a number. They give you like a UCI number. a foreign international license with the USA racing nationality and a USA cycling domestic annual license. So, and have a current. So it's either international license, foreign international license, or US domestic license. I have a domestic license and a UCI. Or no, I don't have an international license. Sorry. I misread that. Must be a permanent resident. Verified. And have a current USA Cycling International license. Oh no, this is or. You can be a permanent resident and have a USA Cycling license. So you don't have to be a U.S. citizen. You have to be a permanent resident, though. Make sense?
Makes sense.
Other required qualification items.
This is where it gets interesting.
Yeah. All riders must have an up-to-date Zwift Power profile. Riders should also have a Zwift Power profile picture uploaded to the Zwift companion app and Zwift Power, right? So
you have to opt in.
Well, you have to opt in to Zwift Power, one, but you also have to put your picture. So like I have my profile pic. I don't know if we can bring it up. I don't know. Can you bring it up? My Zwift Power profile. You need my number. Where's my thing here? I was looking at it because I was doing dual power. 178891. If you're looking for that. But
I was just going to bring mine up because I have a picture.
Yeah, you have a picture, but so your Zwift Power and Zwift Companion. So Zwift Companion is different than Zwift Power.
Yes.
So I have both. I use the same picture for both. Yeah. So you can kind of see that, right? Height verification, weight, Zwift Power profile, equipment verification, and other data will be collected through the Indy Velo data portal, which we don't know exists yet. Oh, now you're going to log in? Okay. You do that while I talk. For the listening viewers, we're getting up my Zwift Power profile. Or you can put the Zwift.com. I don't know if you can see mine from afar. Other data will be collected through Indy Velo data portal. So we don't know what that is, if that's in-game or if it's outside of the game. There used to be a thing called the eBio Passport. That will be provided to registrants at least 1 week prior to race day. Okay? Zwift cycling account, a Zwift membership, and so you need to be a member. You need to pay for Zwift. You can't do this on a free account. Correct? Can you have a suspended account? Are they pause accounts anymore?
Well, see, that's the problem too, is with, it's for inclusivity, you have to pay. Where, see, with RGT, you didn't have to pay. So
yeah,
this took way longer than it should, but there we go. There's my picture. There's my profile
there you go.
on Zwift Power. That is me.
And then you have an event injury, which I did. It's $25. So you have to pay for Zwift, pay for a license, and pay for the actual registration of the race.
I think with the $25 entry fee should include 1 month of Zwift. That'd be my take.
Oh, that's a good idea. Yeah. I can get along with that. All right, moving on. Qualification guidelines and rules. Competition age, racing age, Riders will continue in their respective age group based on their official age determined on December 31st of 2024. So my race age still is going to be 47, race age 48, because I'll be 48 on December 31st, 2024. So race age 48, actual age 46 currently, will be 47. Women and men in so this is racing age groups. Women and men in the following categories and ages. There's collegiate, there's elite, 19 plus. So it does start at 35. I was thinking it started at 30 plus, but that's sort of masters promoter races. But USA Cycling is 35 to 39, 5. Yeah, there you go. You bring it up. 40 to 44, 45, 49, 50, 54, 55, 59, 60, 64, 65, 69, then 70 plus, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 categories times 2, 20 categories. And then awards shall consist of an in-game virtual jersey for the winners of each category. That's new. Championship jerseys will be awarded to any age group represented over 55 to 59.
Now, I wonder if the virtual jersey is going to be the same as the very first Zwift Nationals jersey, because that is badass. That is like probably the best in-game jersey that there is.
Oh, I don't know. I've never seen that
pure
one.
black. It's
is it
pure black with just the flag on the back.
Oh, that's really cool.
So you have like this pure black skin suit with your flag as you pass people.
All right, registration. Know how to register. Just go to bikereg.com. You can find it, or Echelon Racing League, and they'll send you a link to it. Regulations, all categories. Here you go. Riders must use their first and last legal name as it would appear on the National Cycling Federation license. So, example, Eric Hill. Like me, it would be Brian Kellison, which I always, B. Kellison is what's in the game. But actually in my profile, it is Brian Kellison in the game. But on Zwift Power, I have the little tags for NCNCA and Penn Velo and all the other stuff.
I wonder how strict they're going to be. Like, say you screwed up your name and it's B. Kellison, but it's not quite spelled properly or something, and you win. Are they really going to be like, well,
no,
name is
no. It's pretty.
Name
I think
is
it's
sort of wrong.
I think power and verification is more important. All right, we're moving on. Race data verification will be executed by our partners at Unveiled. This is interesting. This is the cool stuff because we haven't really had. This is probably the first thing for Unveiled to do what they partnered Zwift with, which was verification, right? Rules of racing. Register with Zwift Power. Use your own Zwift account in your own name. Use your real height and weight. Spin down, calibrate your trainer and power meter. Make sure your cadence sensor and heart rate monitor are working. Use the correct in-game virtual equipment. Okay. Performance verification. You must provide performance verification data within the time period required. You must be asked to provide additional evidence to help verify your performance in an event. If it appears to be a problem, there is a second independent review before any decisions are finalized. I guess it's cut off here, whatever. Sanctions. If your performance cannot be verified, your result may be annulled. If you attempt to gain an unfair advantage, you will be disqualified and receive a ban from future events. If you repeatedly break the rules or bring the sport into disrepute, you may receive a permanent ban. I'm paraphrasing that because I can't really see it on the thing. Code of conduct. Be nice to others. Don't cheat. Respect the rules and decisions made by league officials. There you go. Okay. Equipment requirements. Riders shall compete using a direct drive smart trainer or smart bike, cadence sensor, and heart rate monitor. Smart trainer or smart bike, cadence sensor, and heart rate monitor must be connected to the Zwift game client. The smart trainer or smart bike must be a primary data source and something connected to the Zwift game client as the controllable device. Okay, so category A, strongly recommended for Cat B through D. Riders must record a second source of data in addition to the primary source paired with the game client. The secondary power data source must be recorded to a cycling computer, like a Garmin or a Wahoo or a Karoo or something like that, right?
The wording's kind of weird there because with nationals, it's age categories. But now they're saying Zwift categories. I think it's, if your category A, they want dual recording, what it probably should just, get rid of all of that.
Yeah, I would get you. The secondary power data source must be recorded to a second computer. The secondary device must be recorded at 1 second intervals. So make sure your computer is set up, or make sure your bike head unit or computer is recording at 1 second intervals. Like if someone uses a watch, you need to do that. This data is used by something, whatever. I'm just paraphrasing because I can't read it. Data for performance verification purposes only. So to get into that, I mean, we can bore people reading this all the time, but to touch on this, hold on, let me finish this. I thought that was the whole thing. Okay, only those direct drive smart trainers and smart bikes that are compatible with Zwift shall be permitted in the Zwift Esports events. A current list of known compatible devices maintained, and then you go to Zwift Insider. So Zwift Insider has their link of stuff. Only trainers and smart bikes with a manufacturer claimed power reading accuracy of, can't really see it, better. 1%.
Yeah, you can't. 2%.
2%. Echelon race. Yeah, go ahead.
I was sort of interrupt, but yeah, it's 2%. So any trainer that's 2.1 and up, you're out.
Yeah.
Which
manufacturer claimed.
Yes, and there is quite a large list that are 2+.
Claims are different than actual verification. So like you could have a trainer that's more accurate than what the manufacturer claims. It's sort of like a blanket statement, right? So you'd hope that 2%. So you can race with a 2% trainer. I think that's what it says. It doesn't say 1%. The GP, like the Zwift GP, is 1%.
2 and down.
2 and down. Okay.
Or 2 and better, I would say.
And so Echelon Racing reserves the right to prohibit the use of smart trainers or smart bikes from the manufacturer that does not currently provide product support. For purposes of this selected product support shall mean software or firmware updates, troubleshooting, and helpful instructions. So always be updated on the latest firmware, because you could have old firmware that's bad, and then be on a smart trainer or smart bike. So a good example is Power Karma, one of our streamer friends in the community.
He's actually in chat at the moment.
Oh, he's in chat. Yeah. I told him about the show, so he's here. He just got a Watt bike, which is because he had a dumb smart spin bike. I don't want to, if I'm wrong, Karma, I apologize. And then he just purchased a Watt bike because he wanted to compete in this, and so they were not allowing power pedals on a dumb spin bike. So he needed a smart bike if he wanted to have a smart bike. Otherwise, he'd have to go get a trainer and then have a dual recording thing, which is like a crank based or pedal based, right? Okay, riders shall be responsible for ensuring that accurate cadence and heart rate is recorded to the game client for at least 95% of the rider's race time. So another example is watching somebody else race, someone in the community, Eric, Cycling with Doc. He has a pile of heart rate monitors. He had one on his arm, right, the other day, and he was doing a race that required heart rate, and his was failing on his stream. So you got to make sure that your heart rate is good. I know Lee's got the trainers, the list of trainers that are certified and stuff. Or no. This is the Zwift Insider.
This is a very small list, but it's actually funny because the rules actually link to Zwift Insider's trainer list to their website. So it's
the Elite, Suuto, Zumo, Jet Black Volt, Connect R1, Magine T100, Taxflux 2, Taxflux S,
and the most interesting of them all, the Zwift Hub does not meet the criteria.
Oh, it doesn't. Oh, it's over.
Zwift Hub is 2.5%.
Oh, no way. Oh, wow.
Zwift's own trainer can't compete in nationals,
but it can compete in other things. So I know it's frustrating, but yeah, I know. It's that sort of like, hey, if you don't have the right cleats, you can't play, which kind of sucks. Okay, what was the other thing? Okay, riders shall not attempt to tamper with equipment, modify data, otherwise mechanical, electronic, or other device which provides an unfair advantage of false results. Riders are responsible. accuracy of their equipment. So that's why you got to have you have to maintain the firmware, and you got to make sure I did 3 power tests today. Not 3 tests, sorry. I recorded on 3 different devices. I recorded one on Zwift. We can go to my Zwift power profile, and you can see I posted the power data from today's race. So I did I did triple record. So you need to, if you have a thing you need to spin down, or you need to zero or calibrate, if your trainer auto calibrates, then that's one thing. It'll do that. You don't need to calibrate. Riders shall use the most recent publicly available, not beta test. Yeah, there is a firmware. And riders shall compete clothed in cycling shorts. And so you got to compete in shirts and a jersey. That's new. I always ride in a jersey because I don't like sweat just dripping all over my bike. But you need to wear a jersey, a cycling shorts and jersey.
That seems sort of strange. I mean, maybe if they're live streaming, like the elite races streamed, but the age category races are not streamed. So who would know you're nude?
You wouldn't, but they put it in the rules. So if they did find out that you had broken one of the rules and they're one of the regulations, then you would be sanctioned, right? It's like people that cross the center line only just to get around people to move to the front of the pack. If the commissary, if the referee, the commissary is like, you can't do that, you're in the back, or you get relegated, or you get DQ'd, right? I've been in races outside, and the dude's just like, I can't get around, and I want to move up, and he just crosses the center line right in front of the moto, and the moto guy goes up to him, like, we have pretty chill moto referees here, and he just looked at the dude and was like, go to the back. He's like, huh? He's like, I was just moving up behind. Like, yeah, you crossed the center line. That was a strict rule. Like, you're not allowed to cross the center line. This is harder to enforce, but if you are racing, you could have it. Go to the analysis, analysis tab, and then you go. That's it right there. So click on that. So that's what I recorded on. You can see it there. So this is from today's race. You can see the power curve. My stages is
look at that.
The stages left crank is not, but my new power pedals and my kicker are like spot on. I mean, they're pretty much on top of each other. And I'm going to be using.
That's pretty darn good.
Yeah, the kicker move, which is my newer train. I had a kicker V5, and I have a new set of power pedals, and those are pretty spot on. So those look good. And this is a good way. This is good practice if people can see this on the visual. So on the audio, for the audio audience, I actually label primary, secondary, tertiary, or you can do primary and secondary. So you know, like your main one is Zwift, and that's my kicker move. My secondary, I recorded the stages, and then I recorded the third one, which I normally do my power link as my secondary versus my tertiary. And then I use a different device. So I use 3 different devices. So Zwift, my computer, primary, Garmin Edge 1000 stages, secondary. My phone is Wahoo iOS app, PowerLink, tertiary, right? This is how you can kind of go, oh yeah, you're whatever, not Cat B, whatever. It's clearly here. You can see my power profile. Okay, I try to disclose what I use all the time because I want people to learn. I'm clearly labeling what's what, right? And you can see what the race is weird. If you go look at the race results, I mean, we're getting into the weeds now, but the race results was like a sprint race. So if you look at primes or primes, that was the point structure. That's where the placing happened. It wasn't a scratch race. So it was first across the line, fastest across the segment, or whatever it was. Okay, moving on. You can see I was gassed, but
on this list many times.
No, because I didn't sprint. I just treated it whatever. This is just a training ride. Casual.
Don't you win the sprint even if you're in the lead? Because I was watching you. You were in the lead for a bunch.
Not that lap. Not the third lap that I was in the lead. The entire lap was not a points lap. They said that in the chat. They said that in the chat at the beginning of the race. Whatever.
We're like, haha, good luck, Brian. Way to go.
Yeah, that was Joe, who actually won the first finish points. Okay, so age group masters race schedule and course information. So here it is, notes. Race will be facilitated as a scratch race. First over the line wins. Okay. Course, New York Park Perimeter Loop, and it's 9.8 kilometers, 6.1 miles, 3 laps, total distance, 29.4 kilometers total, so just under 30 kilometers. Last year's race was 2 laps of Dirty Reaver on RGT, and that was 35 kilometers, so it's just under. This is 3 laps, that was 2 laps. Elevation is 126 meters, 413 feet, and it's rolling. It is very rolling. There are moments where it's flat, but it's kind of a false flat and you're going up. I really like it. I'm excited. I'm excited that it's a scratch race and I don't have to be 65 kilos to do like a 20-minute climb. Like the Innsbruck climb.
Jody Reaver had a climb, had a definite climb.
Yeah, it had 4. I remember it. I did it so many times. It actually had like 4 points where it went up, and it had like 3 at the beginning that were really steep. And there's one that were. That's a fine. I coughed on the mic. And so you needed to sort of be at threshold for quite a lot, and then push past into like anaerobic to get up and over that steep part, like that third climb. Remember that third climb? But we started with the climb. Like it was like, I pushed it. I know I pushed it. I pushed it.
Seems like the moment RGT is turned off, any thought or information of RGT has now been wiped from the internet. I cannot find anything about the Dirty Reaver course at all, other than Velo Viewer, which doesn't give me. I'm looking for the elevation gain.
It's in your. If you have a system account, your launch system, you can find your old rides from RGT or train. It should have loaded it. Okay, so we have a note. One thing here on the age group master fields will each have a separate race. So we're gonna have masters fields, so -2, right? It was elite and it was juniors. So these are all going to be separate races. These races will not be live broadcast, but highlight reels of the races will be captured and results will be recognized during the elite men and women's race broadcast on Sunday, January 7th. Okay. Riders should have a Zwift companion app and Zwift power profile picture uploaded to the platform in order to support our roll results and podium graphics protocol. Okay. This is elite and collegiate race schedule and course information. So events, national champions on January 7th. Events will be scored using Omnium scoring. So this is different than the scratch race. Points breakdown will be in the event rule book. And that's on the echelon thing. Race 1. Oh, no. I think this is in here. This is, no, that was it. Yeah, this is it. So race 1 is the UCI 2015 UCI World's course. So it's 1 lap. Oh, they're doing the Bologna time trial. Oh my word, it's a time trial. So they're doing rolling. They're doing 1 lap of the UCI World's course.
I think the reason they're doing that as a TT course is
TT course,
the climbing. Well, so I think that's their hill climb.
She's been doing that. Sorry, my dog is. So I don't know how she get the thing off her head. I think she pushed the door open and popped our dog had surgery and popped the cone off of her head, and then she runs and slides into that now.
She peed in the.
All right, everyone, she peed.
In the garbage too. She's going.
All right.
Come on, Lulu.
She's the podcast mascot, Spincast mascot.
Did they see her face?
They did not. I can pick her up here if I want.
Come here.
Yeah, let's do that real quick. Lulu, come here.
Lulu, come here. Go with Daddy.
Come here. Come here.
Go with Daddy.
There she is. There she is. Oh, she always is camera. You just got on camera. You better stay away. There you go. Gabrielle doesn't like cameras. There you go. All right.
Come on.
Come on, dude. All right. Wide angle camera.
My wife is the same way in the garage when I stream.
Yeah.
I have a line saying, if you cross this line, you will now be in the
Okay.
stream.
Yeah, I need to do that. Okay, so then it's a crit course. So it's 6 laps of the Neokio crit course. That's not really that much of a crit course. Have you ridden that? It's not a crit course. The Bologna time trial is going to be tough.
That's going to put the hurt on people for the third race.
The time trial is going to do it. Yeah. I like the Watopia crit better, which is the first of the echelon. Okay, that's it.
Keep forgetting that these are the US rules because the elevation is in per feet. I have zero clue what that means.
Yeah, I know.
I don't know what 755 is.
Elevation per feet. Yeah, they didn't do the kilometers on this one. So that was the elites national championships. And here's the thing is all the masters categories can compete in the elites. So you can race Saturday and Sunday, which I might do.
I would totally do that if I were you.
Yeah, I don't think it's an additional fee, right? And I actually like your point of you should get like a month of Zwift to do it.
Well, only real reason was because RGT was free. They would run the nationals in RGT, which it was more inclusive being free because you're already paying for a license. You're paying for actually enter the race.
Yeah.
You know,
it was $10. It was $10 though. It's different than 25.
Yeah, well now it's 25. So, but like, why not throw in?
Oh, I'm with you. Because
I guess if you're already paying, you could just say, okay, well, a month of Zwift, throw that into like the entry, throw that in as part of the entry. So it's just another thing to buy.
Let's say you're not a Zwift person, but you want to compete in this. It's $15 US, right? $25 for the entry fee, right? So was that $40, right? 40 already. Is my math right? Yeah. 5, 10, 20, $40.
Yeah, that's like, then, exactly. RC. That's what I would say is you have you sign up, you pay your entry fee, and they give you a promo code.
I think that's a great idea.
Code for Zwift.
I'm going to send that idea off to USA Cycling and to the promoters, Echelon Racing League.
Well, actually, we have our down and out Brian White, who's making comments in chat.
Oh, good.
Can't leave his room, but
yeah, he can't dial in from his phone.
Here's a question of how much participation do you think there will be?
I said this in my stream. Question. I said that on my stream the other day. I don't think there's going to be as much participation as people think. I think Canada.
I think. Well, I would hope there would be a lot of participation, but the same thing is there's still the hoops. So the only difference between last year is Zwift or RGT. So more people know about it because it's in Zwift. But guess what? You still got to download IndieVelo. We haven't found out what the IndieVelo verification is, but I'm going to guess it's going to be a power test. So you got to download IndieVelo. You got to go and do a power test for verification. So there's still a whole whack of hoops that people who ride in Zwift don't leave Zwift.
Most people don't. So, okay, I have 3 reasons. Let me see if I have more than that, but 3 reasons. So let's see if I can come up with more. 3 reasons why the numbers were going to be not as much as you think versus like previous years. So previous years we had, 5 in my age category. So if we could get 10 in each category, right? So if we had 10 racers per category, that's 8. That's like 80 people, right? Times 2. That's 160 people. right? Because there's whatever, how many masters. So then you're like, oh, if I can get 10 people in the 70 plus, that might not happen. The thing is number one for me, or number three, I'll do three reasons why it will be not, the participation will not be as high as people think, because it's exciting, right? Number three, time of year. It's holiday time. People are off season. They're wanting to enjoy their holidays. That's what I think. I think that it's so early in January. It's like the first weekend after New Year's. People are, maybe the most they'll do is like Festive 500, right? So time, holiday. Number two for my reasons for people that not doing it, cost. And then number one, cost, I think, is a huge thing. I think there's a lot of people like, I already pay Zwift. I don't want to pay for all these things. I don't race outside. Why do I need a license? I don't do this. And I have to buy, hardware verification. So verification. Those are my three. There's probably more. That's my top three for reasons why the numbers might be not low. Right?
Owen's currently saying there's currently 88 people signed up. For males, A and Elite, there's 28. B, there's 15. C, 11. And D, there's 3. But I think for the sign up, that would be for the
Echelon Racing League.
Little racing series leading up to.
Series. Yeah, the racing series. This is, that's the thing, is like the signups for the Echelon Racing League are one thing, and then there's the national championships.
Which would be a good indicator, because I would say a bunch of those people probably will race nationals. Because actually, I think it did say in the rules, I think we passed over it, you have to ride in at least one qualifying or Echelon Racing race.
Yeah, one of the
to
three.
Qualify.
The first three. Where is it? Right here. So race 1, race 2, or race 3, which is Bell Lap, Innsbruck KOM After Party, or Case Pat, right? So
that's not many people. And what you don't realize is in that list, it's A, B, C, or D. Those groups are all going to get mashed together into age categories. And with the US, there's a lot of age categories. Like, that's the one thing that's different in Canada. And in Canada, the categories are 10 years.
Yeah.
So it's like 40 to 49, 50 to 59, which is funny because even as far as attendance went, I was in the 40 to 49 category and there was 5 people. The very first year, though, there was 30 people when there was no hoops. The very first year they did the esports, they just said, everyone welcome, just show up and race. And there was 30 people. And then the last year, or I shouldn't say last year, 2023, it was, hey, by the way, here's some hoops. And then there was 5 guys.
Yeah. What do you think of those 3 reasons? What does the audience think? I mean, do the people think that am I out of my lane by saying it's the holiday season and it's so early? Because Canada's in February, and I don't know what the other countries are going to do, but like,
I always think it's weird to have it so early in the year. Like, you're crowning the national champion for 2024 6 days into 2024. Like, I think the nationals to me should be like December 15th or something. Like, you have an entire race season to prove that,
Yeah. And now Worlds is pushed to October. It's like,
you can literally shut it down. You can win on the 6th and be done for the year.
Yeah.
I'm done. I won nationals.
It's my plan. I want to shut it down after that. All this hard training. No, but I think also that the time frame, it's like people are traveling, people are spending time with their family, they've shut it down, or they want to enjoy the food, the sort of winding down of the year to start the new year. And like, training is tough. That's the thing. Like, Casey Shum, everybody, who's one of our community streamers and stuff, he said that he didn't want to do nationals. even though it was like, this is when it was first announced that it was going to be on Zwift again. He's like, I don't want to do it. He's just like, because he doesn't see that it being something he wants to train for. That's the thing, is the commitment to train for it. Not only the verification, you got to train for it. There's people that love training. I mean, I like riding and racing. Training is sort of the byproduct of that. Now I'm doing training and workouts, but
I didn't ride my bike once in December. Like literally, I went to Mexico for the first 9 days, came back, worked for a week, and then had winter holidays.
Yeah.
Like I did not ride once in December, so there's no chance. Come on, like if I was racing on the 6th.
Yeah, and then you have to do a power profile too. Not only you got to train, you got a power profile. You make sure you're all stuff styled, and you have to have 2 power meters. So a lot of people don't have power meters. That's the verification. That's why I think it's number one. So that's the biggest hurdles. Like people on Zwift Hub, maybe they're going to be like, "Oh, Zwift Hub's in because whatever." Okay, you still don't have there's some people that don't have a second power meter, and they're not going to buy one. Like Eric, cycling with Doc, right? Eric Detrick. I think that's his last name. That's how you pronounce his last name? Whatever.
Something like that.
He has a kicker bike. And I don't know if it's on the list of being certified. I think it's too much variant. Maybe it is certified. I don't know.
Actually, the licensing fees, like Marblehead was saying, what is the cost of a USA cycling license?
Like $115. I think it's $125 maybe for a year.
And a good argument for the Canadian race, Brad, Big Trouser Bikes. He probably has a very good potential of winning. He didn't want to get a Canadian license because he would only need it for one race. So I'm in the same boat. I don't need to buy a Cycling BC membership, but to be in this race, I do. So I'm treating it like a entry fee. You do a lot of fondos that cost hundreds of dollars. So I'm just treating nationals like it's a fondo. $90 is part of the entry fee.
Yeah.
It's going to cost me $165 to race nationals.
Yeah, it's a cost. And there's people that have budget concerns. And so
it's nationals.
I know it's nationals. Hey, I'm doing it.
That's the big tipping point for me. People pay hundreds to do like a random fondo.
Yeah, but there's people
that nationals.
I'm with you. People
like
don't.
Your name is literally on the results website for the next 50 years. So race nationals.
Right. I'm with you. But there's people that don't pay anything. Like they're begrudgingly paying for Zwift.
Yeah.
So I did want to have, last thing, because we're going to try to wrap up. We're going to try to keep this in an hour. The race today, I had my Zwift plays, disabled my steering, but braking was still allowed, and the button still worked for look behind. I love the look behind button. Do you think steering and positioning is going to be allowed?
I would say no. I would like to say yes, but I think it's still too early. There's no way they let steering in.
I would love it, but I understand.
Or you could be like RGT and you put out steering 1 week before nationals, but then you don't tell anyone that it's sort of semi-broken.
Yeah, and there's a bug where you shouldn't have the app open, and you would have had auto drafting.
I had the app open, couldn't steer.
I had the app open too. I know.
You won. You didn't matter. You didn't need to steer. You could just be in your own lane.
It did matter because I was. Yeah, technically didn't matter, right? So I won, and the guy who got second also had the same issue. So yeah, it in hindsight, it's like, okay, it didn't matter, but it did because I was like, when we were still together, because like the first climb coming out, I was like, why am I not moving around? Like I didn't really pay attention to it. Like, why am I not following wheels? I'm like, I'm all the way to the right. I'm thinking, what's going on? Like, because they told us that the steering was off. It's like, oh yeah, no steering for this event, even though it came out a week before.
Yeah, I was in a group with third, fourth, and fifth place. Third and fourth didn't have this problem, and eventually I couldn't hold on any longer because I was solo. They were over here, I was here, and third and fourth was drafting each other, working together.
And then the good thing is we knew about the bug. We found out about it afterwards. We told as many people like I told Lucas, who was racing the next day, like, just tell everybody, do not open the app. Like, do not open the app in the auto sort of drafting will occur. So, all right, you got anything else you want to add?
No,
we got here.
Just there's no way that they're steering. I'd highly doubt it.
Yeah,
but Zwift does weird things sometimes, so you never know.
You never know.
Zwift, though, they cater to the like RGT was like, no, everyone is steering, damn it. We don't care. Whereas Zwift to allow steering, 99% of the people in Zwift would have to own Zwift Play or steering before Zwift would implement it.
Yeah.
Yeah, Zwift caters to the masses. And so unless there's like a 98% adoption rate for Zwift Play, it won't be in nationals.
Yeah. I do have one more thing before we get out of here. I actually accidentally hit braking on one Zwift controller. So I took the Zwift Play controllers off, and I put one back on because I wanted to have the look behind. Because I was like, oh, they turned off steering, and I was kind of bummed out. The look behind, which is the down arrow on the left Zwift Play controller, you can still hit braking, so you brake. It's
hilarious.
Yeah, the old Pack Dynamics, there's no way I would have caught back onto the group. But I went from a complete stop to then big effort to then get back into the group, and I got back into the group and still was able to, obviously I was in the finish I had a cramping issue at the end of my race. If you want to go see the VOD, but I'm glad that even though they turn off steering /positioning, you can still have braking, whatever, but the buttons still work, so you can still have the look behind. I wish it was more of like you could toggle it instead of a timed thing, but now I'm getting in the ways. We haven't talked about that.
What's interesting is the steering and braking are on the same sort of button. How would they have disabled that it goes this way, but this way still works?
Yeah, inwards is braking, and that way is, I don't know. But I was gripping it because the way that I mount it on my bike is different than other people mount it. And I was wrapping it, and I was like, oh, I was just holding on to it because I was like, oh, these buttons don't work. Steering's turned off. No. Steering is turned off, but braking. So if I pushed inside, I went, and because I was on first person, you didn't see the light and anything. And I just came to a stop. I'm like, oh, well.
Make the vibration work.
I have issues with my Zwift Plays, so they buzz a lot. They buzz a lot during my races because they're connecting and reconnecting. So
okay.
Bzz, bzz, and it has nothing to do with the actual race or what's going on. It's just, right controller, bzz, bzz, disconnect, and it bzz, bzz, connects. I know I need to do a support ticket and I need to get new ones fixed. But on that note, I think we're good. I'm going to go play some Street Fighter and go walk the dog. All right, everybody. I know I'm exhausted from this. No, I felt good about the race today. I'm feeling good about the national championships. However that plays out. I'm also excited for the Echelon Racing League. So we're focusing on the national championship, but there still is an Echelon Racing League, and that is open to everybody. So anybody that's international, you can race in that. And yeah, you're not going to race in the national championships for the United States, but there's 6 races and there's prize pools. I haven't gotten into the thing, but
I think
check it out.
That would be a good topic for next week.
Next week is
the first race is on the 2nd of December.
Yeah, let's do it. Next week, we're going to talk Echelon Racing League leading into it. How about that? Good job, Lee.
Obviously, we will be talking about Canada when the rules come out for Canada.
Yeah, when Canada's come, we'll definitely do in depth. Come on, it's the Canadian National Hour. Man, I know my provinces. What? And people that don't know me from outside of this show, not the people, most people know me from outside this show, from my own show. Canada, I have a very fond relationship with Canada. So Canadian national, when we get the rule set for Canada, it's going to be on. Because I love going through the French, the Quebecois version, because you guys got to do your rules. It'll be twice as thick. It's gonna be twice as thick as this
because it will be bilingual.
Yeah,
yes.
You have to have a bilingual. It has to be bilingual. That's the rules. I love it. All right.
Brian can go over the French section.
Yes, I can. All right. Lee Zavris, our Canadian representative. Brian Marblehead, feeling better, hopefully. I sound a little robotic tonight. I have an odd reverb. Oh, maybe it's my house. How about that? Is that better? That was like 50 minutes ago. Should I be like right on my mic like this? All right. Or I can just be over the mic. More of a robot. Anyways. Okay. Right at the top of the hour. Play the music, beats. We're going to get music. We're going to get graphics. We're going to get things. Just bear with us. I appreciate everybody. You got anything else to say, Lee? That's it? Goodbye?
Everyone have a great Sunday evening.
Take care, everybody. Bye.